I found a loophole to screw my nickel and diming HOA out of a portion of their monthly fees. My HOA has been bleeding me dry since I moved in 3 years ago. Monthly dues are $218, which is already ridiculous for a neighborhood where half the streetlights don't work. But they add a $6.50 processing fee on top every single month. Check, online, auto pay, doesn't matter. They get their cut. Last October, my dad had a heart attack and died. I flew home to handle the funeral and help my mom. In all that chaos, I forgot to pay my HOA dues. When I got back 2 weeks later, there was a foreclosure notice taped to my door. Not a reminder. A legal threat about putting a lien on my house. I called them that day, explained what happened, asked if they could waive the late fee given the circumstances. The receptionist said she understood, but couldn't override the system and transferred me. That person said the same thing and transferred me again. I spent 3 hours getting bounced around before some manager told me in the flattest voice possible that fees are automatic and hung up. I paid everything immediately, including a $40 late fee because I was scared they'd actually go after my house. But I was furious. I'd been dealing with my dad's death, and these people couldn't show 1 ounce of human decency over 14 days. That night I couldn't sleep, so I pulled up their payment portal looking for anything I could use against them. Reading through the contract, I noticed the portal had 2 options: autopay that charges automatically each month, or manual one-time payments. I'd been on autopay since moving in. I turned off autopay right then. Didn't pay anything for January. On February 4th, I got hit with a $12 late fee. I logged in and paid both January and February together as one transaction to catch up. The system only charged me 1 processing fee, $6.50 total instead of 13. I'd paid 12 in late fees, so I was still down, but it made me think. I did the math. Their contract said late fees maxed at $12 no matter how overdue you were, probably to avoid lawsuits over penalties. So I tested it. Skipped March completely. Skipped April. Let May pass. I was nervous they'd send another foreclosure letter, but the contract said they couldn't start that until you were 4 months behind. Beginning of June, I logged in expecting the worst. Just one $12 late fee for all 3 months. I paid March, April, and May in one transaction. $6.50 in fees instead of $19.50. Saved 13 minus the $12 late fee. $1 profit. I started doing it every 3 months. My account always showed past due, but I didn't care. By year end, I'd made 4 payments instead of 12. $26 in processing fees instead of 78. Came out about $4 ahead after late fees. Not much money, but every payment felt like payback for how they'd treated me when my dad died. 2 weeks ago, I got a call from someone named Ron. Said he was the HOA financial coordinator and had noticed irregularities in my payment history during their annual audit. His tone made it clear he thought he'd caught me doing something wrong. He said my late payment pattern was unacceptable and I needed to return to monthly autopay or face additional penalties. I asked what penalties specifically. He stumbled, then said the board was determining appropriate action for members who abused the system. I told him I'd read the contract and hadn't seen anything about penalties beyond what I'd been paying. He got frustrated and said the processing fee was intended for monthly payments and I was exploiting a technical error. That's when I had him. I said if it was an error, then the HOA had been overcharging everyone for years since the fee should be per transaction, not per month. I said if he wanted to recalculate everyone's payments to fix the error, I'd be first in line for my refund. And I'd let all my neighbors know they were owed money too. Dead silence for 15 seconds. Then he said he needed to discuss with the board and hung up. Last week I got a letter on HOA letterhead. Very carefully worded. Said after review they determined my payment schedule complied with current contract terms and no action would be taken. They were planning portal updates, but modifications would only affect new contracts after the system change.